It's match day, and I matched. Like, my excitement is totally through the roof. So I matched earlier today. It's been probably like, what time is it? It's probably been 9 hours since I matched, but like, just the utter excitement and uncontrollable, just, like I can't believe it. Like, I'm really about to start a dietetic internship to get my dream job to be a dietitian. It's been a long road. It's been such a long road. I definitely cried after my results came out because I was just so overwhelmed with emotion. Like, this process has been super duper uber stressful for me. And if you applied to dietetic internships before, especially if you applied and didn't get matched the first time, I know you know how I feel. Well, maybe not how I feel, because technically this is my first time applying for DICAS. But you know what? I'll explain that later in this video. But for right now, this is just like initial calm down reaction. Like, I'm excited for what's next, and yeah, to see the letters RD behind my name. I'm just, it's coming. All right, guys, so I just came from work, just got a Bible study, and now I'm before y'all, finally making the video that's actually been most requested, which is pretty awesome. So to start off this video, I'm just gonna flat out tell you what steps to become a registered dietitian. So first and foremost, you need to get your bachelor's degree along with your verification statement. All the verification statement is just saying that you took the required didactic courses in order to become eligible to step 2. So step 2 is the Dietetic Internship or supervised practice. That's 1,200 hours of supervised practice. So you go through, you look and you shadow and you do the job, and next thing you're in the hospital, you're in food service, you're in community, all that during your internship. And usually it's full-time. They do have some part-time programs, I know, but usually it's full-time, 40 hours a week. Some of them require coursework with it if you do it through a college. So, you know, that's step 2. Step 3 would be taking the CDR exam, which is the exam to say, hey, I am a registered dietitian. So after you take that exam and you pass it, then boom, you're a registered dietitian. That's it. Not in some states. So some states are really strict with licensing, so they require you to have a license to practice. So that would be step 4 for most people. Otherwise, bam, you're a dietitian. Okay, so the main point, or the main theme of this video was just talking about my experience applying to dietetic internships and finally landing one. So let's start from the very beginning. So I went to UT, I graduated, I got my verification statement. Typically, seniors will apply through the spring match, and when they apply through the spring match, then they start in the fall, their internship, or sometimes the summer. For me, I decided to hold off on applying for many different reasons. I met with our DPD director at our school, and as well as some dietetic internship directors as well, and talked about my, competitive edge into their programs. And that was a big thing for me that really brought me down, because my GPA wasn't the highest. They recommend probably around that 3.3 or 3.4 to be somewhat, competitive. And for me, my GPA was a 2.9. So that was one reason why I was discouraged to apply. The other reason, which was personal, was financial. I already went to school for 4 years, and I had a scholarship, but I still had to take out a little bit of money to pay. So just the thought of having to take out more money for an internship was something that I wasn't ready to do at the time. So because of that, I decided, okay, I will go work and gain some dietetic experience in some other area, and then I, revisit this internship thing, which is fun. So that's what I ended up doing. So I became, hey, let me say this first. So I applied for jobs in the spring, and I applied for so many jobs. The first interview I got was actually at a hospital as a diet technician, and it was so funny. It was like a little group interview. Like, it was the dietitian, and then it was the 3 techs that are already there, and so they were all taking one by one interviewing me, asking me questions and things like that. And when it came for her to contact me afterwards, she called me, and I missed her call, and she left a voicemail like, hey, please call me back, I want to talk to you. And so if she called me, I just knew oh, I got the job, right? She even sent me an email too telling me to call her. So I was like, okay, cool. So I eventually called her back, maybe an hour or two later when I wasn't busy, and she informed me that I did not get the position, but strongly encouraged me to apply again because she loved me so much. She would really love me to be part of the team, but she let me know that there were applicants that were a lot more qualified as far as experience, so that's why I did not get the position. So alright, I didn't get the position, so my next interview was actually with WIC. So I had an interview with WIC in Longview, so an hour from where I lived. And so I went to that interview, it went really well, got a tour, this was pre-COVID, so we were all, in each other's faces. And I really liked the environment. So I was really excited, actually, because I was like, okay, that diet tech position didn't work out, but maybe this position as a nutritionist with WIC will work out. And it did. So I got the job, and I've been there ever since I got out of school. So my first experience trying to get into a dietetic internship was trying to get into a dietetic internship through WIC. Okay, so the dietetic internship through WIC in Texas involves you having permission from your local agency to go through the internship. Okay, so I had asked my director, and my director was okay with it. I have such a lovely and fabulous director, but it wasn't the director I had to worry about. It was our CEO and HR, who weren't so keen on having another intern because of a past experience. So what ended up happening is I went ahead and got all my application together. So I got my letters of reference, I got my personal statement written, I got my resume together. What else you have to do? DICAS is a long application, so I had to fill out a DICAS application for WIC. So I pretty much got it all filled out, and then I had a meeting with my director in hopes that I was gonna say something to I don't know, just change the mind of our CEO and HR. It didn't work like that. It didn't work like that at all. So yeah, so basically I had a DICAS application that was pretty much finished, but nowhere to send it to because I was just sending it in for WIC, and I wasn't allowed to participate. So this was exactly about a year after I had been at WIC. So rolls around year 2, and I'm debating. I'm saying, should I go for it and try again to do this internship through us, even though I know how they feel about it and they're not really for it? Or should I take my chances at a, another program? And at that point, I decided I really want to be a dietitian. I really don't want to be stuck here hoping and hoping and hoping for something that may never happen. So I took a leap of faith, and I decided to apply to actually 5 programs. If I remember the names of them. I applied for Oklahoma, the University of Central Oklahoma, so UCO. I applied for the University of Incarnate Ward in San Antonio. I applied for there's 3 Louisiana schools, and there's one that I'm trying to name, Louisiana Tech. in Monroe, Reston area. Nichols State University in Thibodaux, Louisiana. And then there's one through a hospital, and the name of the hospital is, I should be a lot of my feet in this. North Oaks Medical Center. So I applied to their internship as well. So I got all my ducks in a row. I submitted all my fees and things, and lo and behold, match day comes around, and boom, I match with the University of the Incarnate Ward in San Antonio. So, I mean, I was in utter shock and just excitement all the way around the board, because the thing I kept hearing, and I kept hearing over and over when I was in my undergrad, was it's so hard to get into a dietetic internship. There are this many students who graduate with verification statements, and then there's this many internships to accommodate. So I was terrified that I would not match, since this was my first official match. And two, I was just very discouraged because, like I said, my GPA was not, top tier competitive. I didn't have any experience clinically. I had experience in research, in community, of course, because I work at WIC. At food banks I go to and volunteer, as well as, ooh, y'all hear my brother in the background? As well as even sports nutrition. So I had a variety of experiences, just, not in clinical, and I felt like that was a real hindrance to me, since many of the program's emphasis are on clinical. But anywho, and so I believe the thing that really helped me, especially getting to the University of the Incarnate Ward, is taking my own personal skill set and applying it to their program. And specifically for their program, they specialize in, diversity and nutrition care. So, caring for those who are of a diverse population. That was really helpful for me because, one, working at WIC, I work with a lot of Hispanics, which is, of course, different from my culture. A lot of Spanish-speaking Hispanics, and for me, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I know a little Spanish, muy poquito, but and also for me, just having that background and that experience to understand and be comfortable in that situation, and I emphasize that in my personal statement really helped me. And also another thing I do want to point out, I had a lot of leadership roles that I emphasized as well, with a organization I was in college, and I feel like that helped me as well because it's a Christian organization, and the University of the Incarnate Ward is a Catholic school, so that I also think that kind of helped me as well. So definitely play on your strengths, your leadership, and everything that you can in your application, whether it's like in your experiences section or your personal statement or your resume, because the schools are really looking at that, and that's really how they're choosing their applicants. Not just because, oh, she has a high GPA, oh, she has a high GRE, which I did take my GRE, and that probably helped too. And oh, she has all this experience, like many of your programs are going to look at you in a holistic manner. They're not just looking at one thing. So yeah, and that was my overall just experience going through the process of, I don't know if I'm going to get into an internship, to bam, I landed an internship. And quickly, I do want to touch on cost, and I have my notes right here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But the cost applying to dietetic internships is expensive. So if that's one thing I learned from applying, I wish I hadn't applied to so many, because I would have saved so much money, but I wanted my chances to be a little higher. So like I said, I applied to 5. So let me just do a quick cost breakdown for you. So the DICAS application itself was just the universal application that goes to all the schools, cost $150 for me. That was $50 for the initial application and then $25 for each additional school. Next was the D&D matching software, which is just the software that they use to match you to a program. That was $55. Okay, some programs have their own individual program fees. For that total, I spent $105 because I had 3 schools that had their own fees. 2 were $40 and then 1 was $25. Some programs require you to apply to their grad school as well. So for grad school fees, I had $60. And because I'm applying to grad schools, most of those grad schools also ask for your GRE scores. So to have all my GRE scores sent to those schools cost me $54. And then in addition to the GRE scores I had to send to the schools, I also had to send my transcripts to those grad schools, and that was $60. So all that grand total was $484. And that doesn't even include the transcripts that I had to have sent to DICAS prior to when I was trying to apply to the WIC program, because I had already ordered the transcripts for them back then. So if I would have applied to only 3, which initially I was only going to apply to 3, but I added 2 more just because I thought, why not? But I shouldn't have thought why not. I should have just stuck with my 3 because the Incarnate ward was one of my 3. So yeah, but just consider cost before you go applying to all these schools, because I could have saved probably $200 or even $300 if I would have just stuck to just the 3 schools I originally picked out. I do quickly just want to dive into dietetic internships and what those look like as far as the programs. So you can do a dietetic internship that's coordinated, which just means you do it while getting a degree and you complete the internship together. You can do it separately, so that's just the internship itself. You don't get any you don't graduate with any degree or anything. Or you can do the dietetic internship with graduate credit. So while you're going through the internship, you're also earning graduate credit. However, if you want to finish out the degree plan, then after the internship, you would choose to continue that. For my degree program, you do get graduate credits while you're going through the internship. So it would be my choice to stay for the master's. I mean, I want to stay for the master's, but I do have to go with my most cost-effective decision. So that is still in the loops. So we'll see. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna share for this video. Stay tuned. I am going to dive deeper into DICAS and specifically what it is, what it entails, the sections in it and whatnot, so you kind of get a deeper understanding of, this DICAS thing. I keep saying DICAS, but I guess it's really DICAS. But I guess my vernacular is be oh, DICAS. So I do want to say that too, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you would, please subscribe, comment any additional questions you have, because I know I just shared a bunch of information and maybe it wasn't all clear, which is why I'm actually doing another video, specifically dealing with DICAS, so you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Oh, disclaimer, because I don't think I mentioned this in the beginning, not all programs use DICAS. So like I said, DICAS is just the universal application that goes to all the schools, but there are a few programs that don't do a DICAS, or they don't participate in the matching. So I do just want to throw that out there. Most programs do though, especially doing DICAS, but not necessarily the matching. So you really just got to go in and research each program so you know what to be prepared for. Those additional program fees for some of the programs I applied for, if I didn't do my research, I wouldn't have known. And I've seen maybe not horror stories, but I've seen stories where people go and they apply these programs and they do all that work, and then they fail to see that there was a program fee that they're supposed to pay, and they don't get matched just because they didn't pay the program fee. They turned in an incomplete application. So, anywho, like I said, thanks for watching. I know I said thanks for watching like I was gonna end, and I kept talking. I do that so much, but like I said. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Thank you.